Good morning, beautiful people. It's a brand new week on Just Siri. It's Monday, and I like to think of Mondays as a clean slate, a new chance to do better, think better, and be better. Clock it, ladies. I wanted to do that on air since clock it, clock it, clock it. Anyway, so here's to a week filled with new energy, new possibilities, new goals, and a fresh mindset. Ladies, how was your weekend?
Oh God, don't ask me. No.
Why are you fighting me? What's your problem?
Hey, my weekend. That's
Artisans. She's been complaining.
Oh, my God.
I think we should hear from the horse's mouth. She has been complaining all day.
It was an artisan field weekend. If there's anything like that, Tulu, I'm tired. I think when you have artisans coming to your house, you have to be of a mental preparedness.
Yes.
If not, you will lose it. You will lose it. Is it from body smells to talking anyhow to bad behavior and
to delays, to not telling you exactly what to expect?
I had the
you'll pay this money, the next thing they'll tell you you need more money.
Honestly, I had the electrician working on something on the cutout at the BQ area, and then the what do you call them? People who service and repair pumping machines. He just said, excuse, ma'am, I'm coming. Ma'am, I'm coming, and that's how he left. The electrician finished. Baba, test what you have done. We couldn't find him. I had to keep the electrician there for an extra 1.5 hours. And while he was telling me, myself, I'm coming. Ma'am, at the bus stop, I'm coming.
He went for another job, obviously.
And he came back 2 hours later, and he couldn't complete the task of the day. He had to take the stuff back, repair it, and bring it. It's okay.
You should see them at work when you're building a new house. They make sure they drag, their job, so you get to pay them every day.
If I could, or when I can, I collect all of them.
So that the frustration starts and ends together.
Come together on the same day. Do your work simultaneously. Do the things you have to do and be gone.
The funny thing is sometimes when I think of calling an artisan to work for me and I think of, the time that I'll spend with them, I'm like, is it worth it? Let me just sleep.
It is worth it because unfortunately half the time it's your AC, it's water, it's something that is a necessity to making your life easy.
One of them actually came to fix my AC the other day and, he charged me so much to fix a part and he went, bought it, came with it, and it didn't work. So I was like, you need to go and fix it. You need to go and change it. He went, switched it, came back, and then the AC started shaking. I called him.
Before you caused me another problem.
I'm telling you, I called him and I was like, you need to come and fix this. Do you know it took him, in fact, he didn't even come. I waited for over a month.
Is this the same? Is it this voice you used to talk to him? This same
how about no now?
Your outside voice.
My outside voice. so he now came to the compound to work on someone else's AC, and then I was like, when you're done, come. He came, and it was just something little that he had to do, just to
maybe tighten something. Yes.
That was all he had to do. And he did it. So when I was trying to check, I was trying to go into my house to check. He was following. I said, where did they go?
Where did they go?
He said, sorry, ma. And he started telling me about, how he had a few ACs that he needed to sell. If you see the AC, I said, I don't need to buy anything from you.
We have,
I now understand when Tolu says that she leaves everything to
see that part. That is why I'm very grateful.
Sometimes
it's like, you won't ask me what's going on. I said, babe, I can't carry. Both of us cannot be frustrated by these people.
No.
We have one that we had worked with for so many years, from our old place to our new place, who was like known by the family, who had worked in the restaurant. We ended up putting him in jail. They will test your patience. They will test whatever religion you think you have, whether it's Christianity or Islam. Forgive, let go, all that stuff. Nigerian artisans. And I look at them a lot of the times and I say, sometimes it's this behavior that keeps you small.
It is.
It keeps you from growing. And I've noticed that they deal, again, this is also our society, they deal differently with men.
No, you see, I learned to channel my masculine energy. That's why you wear your big girl pants. Mr. Rashid knows me. My inside voice is different from my outside voice. I start with inside voice with you to give you respect. And let's have a conversation like it's, like two sane adults. Now, when you refuse to, or you want to now lord it over me because you are a man, I will now tie my wrapper and get into my outside voice with my masculine energy. Then we know, because Nigerians, unfortunately, that's what the street understands.
Yeah.
You need to take it to the streets. You need to break bottles. You need to raise voice and threaten.
And it shouldn't be
It
so.
shouldn't be so.
And you shouldn't also have to withhold their money, because another trick Nigerians do is they get you like maybe part payment to come and do the job. But Nigerians withhold their money. Sometimes people withhold their money for a month. No, let me not say maybe a week or 2 weeks to be sure that thing they fix is. They can call you. They'll be the ones to wake you up at 6:30 a.m. They'll be the last one to call you, because unfortunately, many of them live from that payment to payment,
but if
paycheck
you
to paycheck. But they don't grow because they don't do the right things.
If you give them everything, they might end up running away, not doing the job.
Exactly, or posting you.
The guy that did my wardrobe, I had an issue with him because he felt I was a lady, so I didn't know measurements and all that. I gave him a 4.5, 6 feet or 7 feet wardrobe to do. This guy came with a 7 by 4. And I told him it's not complete. He said, no, this is how
he's trying to cheat you.
He was trying to cheat me. I said, you have to make sure you do it. I forced him. In fact, in the end, he worked on it, and then he was going to do something like a cupboard for my kitchen. And then he came with something totally different. I gave him money. And then he went, used old wood, sprayed it. Do you know he had to go and write statements at Area F?
Thank you. Give me 5.
I'm telling you.
Good girl.
He did.
Good girl.
I told him I will not pay you until you do this.
Good girl.
And even when he brought it, I was like, this is not what I asked for. He didn't cover the back and nothing. I'm telling you, I didn't pay him everything.
Do you know why?
Till today,
A lot of people like Toulouse, a lot of people hang on to the fact that, oh, because of God, forgive them, because of religion, because of, you know, these
and
people,
he's a pastor, sorry. Did I say he's a pastor?
I'm so sorry, that makes it so much
End of this.
At some point, I kept calling him. He stopped picking my call. I had to report him to the police.
Pastor.
Well done. Well
I had to report him.
They'll say that she's a weapon fashioned against him, not knowing that he's using his own hands to spoil the work of his hands.
I don't think these people understand that there's work to be done. There's work. There's always work. But how you interact and how you do your work as an artisan. As an artisan, listen, the knowledge is just, I respect them, because a good artisan, when you get a good artisan, oh my God. But I know that one of the most difficult people to get is a good carpenter. A good carpenter, because now everyone's in a hurry. Even when you say you're going to learn work or be an apprentice, you don't, and maybe you have 2 years to stay there, you just stay 6 months. And for your mind, now if you say you don't go,
you don't become master.
Yes, and then you go.
Mechanic and carpenter, mechanic and ACP.
Have you met the entitled carpenters that would want to work for you and ask you for drinks?
Dashen.
So I don't have a problem with that if I'm in the course of cooking. I've fed artisans.
No, of course.
But it's the ones that demand it that make it seem like
I hope you have something to drink, you know, it will help me work well.
Do they tell men that?
No, the men are the ones that spoil stuff.
I love people
I don't think so.
No, the men, yes.
Is it a man is in his house giving food to artisans?
I'm telling you. They've made them friends in kind of way.
I wish I can interact with those ones. I would say you don't mean it. With the same gusto that you said, I would say, wow, you don't mean it. I hope it's not this bus stop. I hope you went there. Because that is not part of the cost.
No, I really don't have a problem, giving them food.
But it's how it's approached. Okay,
yeah, that's how my week.
You see, you let
Saturday to Sunday. Since I came in here, I was telling everybody, artisans.
The fashion against us.
Well, I didn't have a weekend, you know.
And
it's fine.
Thank you so much.
So
Fire service called and Dashing answered.
Oh, la, la.
Really, she didn't have a weekend.
But I had fun. It was really cool, you know, working with you at, you know, and, you know, on the breakfast extra show. It was interesting.
It was interesting.
Yeah,
it was not as good as being on Just
No, of course not. Come on.
That was my weekend. So I tried to take my daughter with her friend to a playground. It was full. I don't do
playground.
A place for gaming and playing and everything.
Yeah.
I don't do Nigerian. I don't do crowds, period. We turned around. We called like 4 children's, like all these playground. They were all booked out. People say there's no money in this Nigeria, in this Lagos. They were booked out for private events. I was like, wow. I think I might be in the wrong line of business. Then we did we had a small party for a family friend. So what struck us late was, you know, they give out souvenirs and things at parties. And you know these small, like the takeaway cocktail bags, drink sachets or pouches. That's what I'm looking for, drink pouches. So they gave all of us on the table, it was orange. I looked at it. I said, I've never seen one this texture. I just thought maybe it's a different drink. No label. Only for us to be told later it was soap. And that someone had opened it and drank it, thinking that it was drink. No label, no nothing. Inside those takeaway cocktail pouches. As me and my husband were talking the whole night, and the reason it even came up is that we were taking it home. Corey said, "Can I take?" I said, "No, it's soap."
How did you now know it was soap?
Because there was a lady we were carrying that now told us that somebody drank it, and that's how somebody shouted. They said, "I don't drink it, it's soap." I'm thinking to myself, why would you not label it? Why would you not? Because no one in their right mind would have thought that you would put soap in that kind of container. So my husband was shouting, "They should go and arrest the person, arrest the person." Let's just be socially responsible. Something that is generally done in one way. Exactly. All you needed was a label. All you need, even if you don't want to do label, all you need is for someone to write and say soap. That thing, I can tell you, I'm very sure that there's a child that will drink it or that drank it yesterday thinking it was a drink. We can do better.
No.
But does soap kill? I hope so. I don't think soap kills.
No, that's the thing. Soap is soap. It has no business in the digestive system of anybody.
Are you saying it doesn't kill? But you know the chemicals you use for the soap.
So that's why I said I had to take it back because I wasn't sure. I had to take it back. And you don't know what's happening internally with everybody.
You don't give kids, like, let's say...
And a kid will see that on the table and carry it thinking it's a drink. There's no way. I'm very sure. I can tell you, I can bet. Sometime this morning.
What made you pause, though?
When I looked at the texture, it was that, you know how soap has this, it's a thicker texture dish. And then there was a bubble inside. I'm thinking, what has one bubble? So my mind just said, okay, this looks different. I just put it down. I was going to interrogate it later, but I never in my wildest thoughts thought that it would be soap inside of it. And then it was orange. So looking like a
party pack. Let's call it a party pack. What is soap doing there for party packs for children? It
doesn't have to be for children. You know how kids will just go and take it, thinking, oh, it's their mommy that brought it, and how many people take things home? We took home too. So imagine if Corey had not been with us and asked, I'll just leave it on the table. She will see a drink, thinking, oh, it's any drink. Open it. I'm so sorry.
It's really very
I was thinking of my daughter experiencing that.
I mean, it's
just for us to be
even when you're making soap, right? There's some sodas and chemicals that you can't touch
and you keep them separate in separate certain types of containers.
Yeah, and then after making it, you have to wait for like a few days or weeks for it to cure. To settle. That way you can, to cure now, to deal that way before you're able to use it. So
my mom makes soap.
We really should be socially responsible, and we're approaching the time of year where every I don't know, it's going to be busy. Parents are going to be looking for where to take their children to.
That's and all these things that people be giving out.
Where did you take the kids to? Because now it seems like there's no place that families can go and
pay
chill.
For every beach you pay to enter. Everywhere you pay. I think minimum entry in most places is about 5K. And when people have 2-3 kids, you're looking for where to take them.
Yeah.
Even all these Christmas villages that are going to start popping up, they do different packages. They'll do the very cheap package, a medium package, and then an all access package. It's difficult out there. And especially for Lagos. You know, we talked about the commercialization of beaches a while back. What is actually free? I know there's 1 or 2 parks in Ikeja here, governments, but by the time you get out there, it is so full.
Yeah, because it is free. By the time you get, there's a popular space in Alausa, that garden. There's a vast garden there. It's always busy during festive periods, Christmas, New Year, Valentine's. It's busy, but there's basically nothing really that's there. You just
go there like for picnics or something.
If you want to do maybe a picnic, if you want to turn it.
When you have holidays like this, people want somewhere to go to. They want something to do rather than just.
That's why they're all fully booked out.
Fully booked, and I think as a city and a state and a federal government, we need to start looking at things that encourage family connection.
Yes.
I like to mention the Nordic or Scandinavian countries. They're very deliberate in making sure that families, is it the 1-year paternity and maternity leave, and then maybe the two of you can share all that stuff. You can decide who stays home. That's the maternity leave. Parks and walking, ways and things that encourage you as a family unit.
Yes.
The hustle culture is not just sending blood pressure up in Nigeria, it's also taking time away from the biggest and most important units we have, which is the family.
And that's why it's easy for parents to just give a child a tab. Here's the tab. Keep busy, don't disturb me, because there's nothing that fosters closeness among families.
Growing at the days when people would open their doors, you know, cook, invite families over for like dinner or something. Everybody's on their own. Like, do you even know who your neighbors are? Do you know your
also, my daughter plays with our neighbors. We were intentional.
They were intentional.
Our daughter plays with the neighbors, with the neighbor kids. All right, let's go for a quick break.
Actually, and when we return, we've got a few stories to catch you up on. Stay with us. This is Jasiri on a Monday.
Thank you so much for staying with us. This is Jasiri on a Monday morning. Now we're going to some happening now news, which takes us to the Oworonshoki part of Lagos. News Central correspondent Israel Eferebo is standing by because just about a day ago, fresh demolitions struck the Koker and Ojulari areas of Oworonshoki at midnight on Saturday, hours after the state government announced that it had compensated about 80 property owners on Friday. If you will remember, about a month or so ago, there was a massive protest of Oworonshoki residents who blocked the express that leads to 3rd Mainland Bridge because of demolition. So let's go to Israel now and get the full update of what's going on there. Israel, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, if you can hear me. Yes.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
It's everything you've mentioned just now. It's exactly a solid background to what has culminated to in the last 2 days here at Oworonshoki. The demolitions have resumed. The people are wailing. The people are crying. I saw for myself at midnight people coming out of their houses with their properties, their mattresses, their kitchen utensils, everything. This was from about Friday night. It happened from Friday night into Saturday morning. It happened again on Saturday night into Sunday morning. And I will not be the only one telling you all these details right now. There is someone here who is indeed someone who is speaking on behalf of the community. Thank you. This is News Central Television. Now talk to us. 2 days of horror. What's going on here in Oworonshoki?
At the moment, I need to also state that Oworonshoki has been in a state of chaos, and with unsettled minds, let me put. And we also need to state that legally, this area has gotten their port injunction, and Ojuleru, Ososa Extension, all these places demolished have got their port injunction from the Parliament Chamber, and then unfortunately, the government has portrayed itself as a government that does not recognize the judiciary. There is no respect for the judiciary. And then I also need to state, as a resident of Oworonshoki, that the demolition done in this community was selective. Some people's houses were not demolished because they are influential people. And then you will observe, if you could take your camera to the shops that are there, those shops with green roofs, they were shops owned by the palace, the Ologo of Oworonshoki, and those shops were actually marked for demolition. Unfortunately, they came around, they could not demolish those shops. It is so sad, regardless of the fact that these people have got their court injunction. And if you see houses that are not demolished in Oworonshoki, you should know that that person is part of the establishment of the Sophia and the Justice.
So, we don't have time here right now. We understand that some compensation were made to the people of this area. Can you explain to us what was that? Because I spoke to some of them and they told me that they were compensated. Are you telling me now something different?
Okay, what you spoken with is a loyalist to the palace. The palace actually orchestrated the compensation. To buy a land in Oworo, if they will not buy a full plot of land for 100 million. It's more than that. Their compensation started from 300,000, 500,000, and they said they gave some house owners 3 million, 5 million. Can you buy, people to rent, self-contained in Oworo, you have 1.something million. 3-bedroom flats in Oworo, close to 4 million naira. And the government is saying it's compensating people. People that were compensated were loyalists to the palace and not the real affected people.
Talk to me. Today, we understand that the police they've been here, they've been on ground. All the parents of security operatives here on ground. And we were told there was meant to be some sort of protest yesterday. Yes, actually, we have stated severally that if we see any bulldozer in Oworonshoki, the youth will march out, the women will march out and take over Terminal Bridge. The reason you see the presence of every men in Oworonshoki Terminal Bridge is because of the threat by the youth to take over the bridge if they get demolished. So that's why you see it here. And I've seen that on WhatsApp group in the community, they said that the terminal bridge is obstructed. It was not from the youth of the community. Perhaps maybe the police figure that out. For clarity's sake, the houses that are being demolished, why are they being demolished? Okay. From what you say, from my own angle, Oworonshoki is meant for the elite villa. Let's be all Nigeria Google the elite villa. They are selling the land for 500 square meter is 60 million. 1,000 square meter is sold for 120 million. The elite villa, go and Google. The land they are recovering in Oworo is for personal interest of those in authority, the class and those in government. Can you confirm this? I am confirming to you, and if Nigerians want to confirm, let them Google the elite villa. It is there. The adverts are online already. It was on Terminal Bridge, but as a result of our uproar, they removed all the adverts from Terminal Bridge from law school. But they want to use plans in the world for their own self-interest. If not, they said those houses are not fit for habitation. If you demolish those houses, what use land? Come and take permits to reconstruct their property. No, they are taking over their land. So we should take note that the Russians should take note that Oworonshoki people are displaced for self-interest. Where do we go from here? The people of Oworonshoki, where do they go from here? The people of Oworonshoki are participating that there will be an action. Lagos State should get ready. We will mobilize against the destruction of lives and property in the world. So let them go and bring all the policemen in the whole Nigeria. We are marching now. We will not die in silence in the community. We will march at Terminal Bridge and let them come and kill us at Terminal Bridge. That's what we're saying. Yemi, thank you very much. Your house was demolished. Yes. Are you a landlord? Yes. Are you a landlord? Yes. That's house. Say again? Yes. That's house. Were you compensated? No. So what happens going forward right now for you? When we saw the buildings around the level, we felt they can't come to our area because we are gotten which we have started to make us the government. So we felt they wouldn't come to our area. But I was personally, I was holding them in case they didn't come. I will show them that I this an investment letter for me. From High Court of Lagos. So were you able to show them this letter? Yes, I did. And what happened? Immediately I showed them, they started clearing and firing. He said, if I don't move around, if I don't move the road, I will see me that. And after our 10 seconds, they started shooting their guns. Everything started. Well, so there's so much to unpack here in this conversation. I really cannot go on. The people here are angry. Some say they were compensated. Others are debunking all of that. So it's a bit of back and forth between authorities here and the residents.
It's a lot, and I don't know how things are going to play out. Seeing this heavy security presence, because it was back in September, the protest that I mentioned that ended up blocking the expressway and into Third Mainland, and hearing from the first person you spoke to who said that the government should get ready. I'm even concerned about the midnight operations. That concerns me a lot as to why a government would go into a place where people are sleeping, where they have their homes, and start demolishing at midnight, overnight. Now, there were some reports that there was tear gas fired, but the police have denied that. Then there's also conversation as to which agency was responsible for this. Everybody seems to be pointing fingers and says, no, it's a sister agency. Oh, no, the police are just there to provide security. So I've seen that back and forth in the Punch reports as well as in Premium Times. Who exactly is the agency responsible for these demolitions? And they started in 2023. I think people should also note that. These demolitions started in 2023, they've continued into 2024, and now in 2025, this is the latest round. Israel, do we have any background as to the agency responsible for the demolitions that are happening in Oworonshoki right now?
Well, we do not have any background concerning the agencies that are responsible for this. But you just mentioned something now as far back as 2023. This man here is someone whose house was demolished in 2023. So let's talk to him. Your house was demolished in 2023. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Were you compensated?
No.
How did it happen for you back in 2023?
Traumatic. Up till now, I still remember clearly the house I built. With my own money. Not borrowed money. Not cheap. With my own money I worked for. Done for people.
Why was your house demolished?
I am not aware whatever their reason is. But one of the things I noticed is that when they came, they didn't come in the working hours.
We don't want garden here. We don't want garden here.
There's a right of way, ma'am. Good morning.
We don't want garden here.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, there's a right of way, ma'am. We are within our rights. Well, can we go down? Can we go down? It's not a family, no, it's not man.
We're live on television, and we'll be leaving here in a moment. But I think not to go ahead.
Within our rights. Within our rights,
anymore. But then again, the police forces have been here.
Thank you. Thank you.
As we hear one as well, they have said that they will try as much as possible.
We are within our rights. This is Nigeria, right? So this is Nigeria. We are within our rights.
All right, Israel, I hope she's aware that you are press. Israel, she's very aware that you're a journalist, correct?
Never. Nobody can do it. No positive way. It's my tax-paying money.
All right, Israel, let's wrap this up so you guys can sort this out. I don't want to put you or the cameraman in. Are you okay?
You should sympathize with us. You should sympathize with us.
So if you can hear me, and then there is a scenario that is happening right now. The police about the man behind me here is house of and he's angry. Take a look. You're not working for me. I'm within my right, please. Let's go to let's see what is going on. Let's go to this is the situation that we are currently experiencing right now here at Oworonshoki.
All right, Israel, we'll come back to you in just a bit. Let's see if we can calm things down there. We'll come back to you in a moment. Thank you so much, Israel. Let's take a time out because there's a lot to talk about in this particular story. We'll be right back.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us on Jasiri. Well, just after the break, we had our correspondent Israel Eferobo, who is at Oworonshoki. He spoke to a few people whose houses were demolished, and we actually saw the confrontation between our correspondent, the people, and also the police. And, you know, there's a lot, just like Tolu had actually said, there's a lot to actually unpack when it comes to this particular story. And you can actually see the frustration, on the people's faces.
It's a lot. So the first person that Israel spoke to made mention of a place called Elite Villa, and that's why land was being sold, and that we should check it. And we Googled it. And on Google, you can find on one website that sells property here in Lagos, for sale, land, the Elite Villa. For sale, buy and build land with C of O. They didn't know how to spell build. So the Elite Villa, located in Oworonshoki, Bagada, Lagos, 60 million naira, and they said that it's 500 square meters. It was added June 2023 updated February 2024. And what are the details? Let's see how they're selling this land. They said that it's going to, if you ever love nature, the estate is for you. Pretty calm, high-end luxury homes located in a quiet residential neighborhood near sandy beaches, that it's close. It's considered the center of Lagos. They're selling 500 square meters, 95,000 naira per square meter. And then there's actually a YouTube video that I came across. Let me just give everything out. There's also a YouTube video I came across of somebody also selling the villa. Unfortunately, where it happens to be that people are currently living.
Let's not also forget, what I'm getting here is that it's situated by the waterfront. So if you want, that luxurious lifestyle, waterfront lifestyle, then, and she talked about 500 square meters being sold at 60 million. Then 1,000 being sold at 120 million, depending on how much.
And then somebody's talking about that people are getting compensation of 300,000, 500,000, 5 million for a house you've built, you've invested in, land you've bought. So there's an issue, there is a serious issue around land in Lagos. Catherine, you were saying it during the break. I'm also concerned about the fact that a state government or an agency, because right now everybody's pointing fingers, would move in at midnight. And nobody would be concerned. Again, as I said, there are reports that tear gas was used, but the police have come out to say that that is a lie. But there are some videos and residents in the area saying tear gas was used, that police broke into their homes, that in fact there was one home that was broken into and raided by area boys or thugs because of all the chaos that was happening. Why would you come with tractors in the middle of the night? And the other guy who also had his home demolished said the same thing, that when they came to demolish his home, they didn't come during working hours.
They came under the covers.
So they came out. Why are you doing this to people?
That has to be the height of wickedness, because I saw the video and you could see that, you could tell that some of them still had their property intact, because there was a satellite dish and everything, but they still demolished it. Why would you force people out of their homes in the middle of the night to go where? To sleep where?
I know that Nigerians, I know that we can actually be
stubborn,
obtuse, and stubborn, but I'm thinking
and dare people. We can dare government.
Yeah, we can dare government. But I want to believe, I really do want to believe that there would have been notice given before this. I really want to believe it. Because that's how things are done. You understand? You don't just come and demolish. There has to have been
process
given
and procedure.
And processes instituted in place and procedures to be followed. My worry is, how do you go to someone's home under the covers of the night? From midnight, 11, when the whole environment is calm, people are sleeping, to demolish. If you had something to do and you wanted to do it openly, do it, in daytime, broad daylight, where people can see, and you know that, okay, ladies and gentlemen, dear somebody, we have discovered that your house was not appropriately built, or something was going on, something, and your house needs to be demolished. In whatever of this, there will be compensation paid to you. I don't understand that 300,000 naira compensation.
What is that?
The 500,000 naira compensation for someone's home. Like one of the respondents that Israel was talking to, which house do you find? Which living space can you find to rent at 300,000 or 500,000?
In this same Lagos that they're wanting to build.
So like Tolu says, there is a problem of land in Lagos.
I think the government really has to be careful, because Nigerians are tired. They're on the precipice. Like, I don't want to say it's just a small spark, because as everything that is going on in Nigeria, boils down to the fact that the leaders do not really care, how we are surviving, because everything is just against Nigerians. So they need to be very careful. You could tell that particular guy, the second guy that was speaking, he was really frustrated, and he did not care what was going to happen to him at that point when the police officers were talking to him. Somebody who went from being a house owner to, I don't even know if he rents, because he looked homeless.
I wanted to ask Israel to ask him, where is he staying now? Where is he staying now? And when you talk about process, I will give Lagos State that in many situations, especially there have been other demolitions, they serve notice. But this one might be tricky for me, and I'll say this, right? Because one of the speakers kept referencing the local monarch, the Oba in the area, and that his house, certain things belonging to him, shops belonging to him, were not chopped. That some of the demolition was not level. There were places that they avoided, and so it makes you wonder, who are they serving the processes or the notices to? Who is communicating with the homeowners or those who are renting? But that is all by the way. Do you know why that is by the way? Because last week, in a judgment delivered on October 23rd, 2025, Justice A.G. Balogun of the Lagos State High Court, Ikeja, granted an interim injunction restraining the Lagos State government, the Attorney General, the Commissioner of Physical Planning and Urban Development, and the Lagos State Building Control Agency, whether by themselves, their servants, agents, privies, contractors, or assigns, from continuing the demolitions of properties allegedly belonging to members of the Itesiwaju Ajumoni Community Development Association, LCDA, which covers Oworonshoki. So that judge's order specifically prohibited the respondents from creating any third-party interest or encumbrance over the said properties that were located at Ajileru Street, Ososa Extension, Toluwalashe Extension within the Itesiwaju CDA Oworonshoki area of Lagos, measuring approximately 30 hectares. Now, this is a court order that came out last week. Demolitions were carried out, and we're hearing it was around 70 houses affected on Saturday night. So you have a state government, its agencies, its representatives, that does not respect a court order.
Yeah.
So I can understand where now I'm seeing nobody seemingly wanting to take responsibility for what happened on Saturday.
See, that's a problem. Lack of accountability that we have shepherded for so long, we have welcomed for so long, we have accepted actually the lack of accountability. So when you say the government has been, the government has been ignoring its citizens from time immemorial. It's not today. And if we do not
ignoring and pushing,
and it's tricky because, like you see, Nigerians are on the precipice. It's elections around the corner, and whether we like it or not, a lot of these things can be interpreted in that regard. Whether we like it or not, things that are happening now, you can't take it away from the dawn of the elections or the looming elections or the fact that there will be elections in 1.5 years.
Or the fact that at the end of the day, money and power is what reigns in Nigeria.
Because people are exempted from
some of these houses apparently had been spared in previous demolitions. Lagos claims a lot of the structures are illegal, either illegally added on or illegally built.
Like Lolo says.
But you should be the one to follow the letter of the law.
If they were illegally built, who signed those documents for them?
Yesterday, we spoke to, someone, a representative from TAP Initiative, and he talked about how the minister of the FCT would grab land and sell to or give to, his friends. And he talked about how even land belonging to University of Abuja, was not even left out. And, I remembered what happened. I don't want to mention the state. I don't want to mention the governor. And this similar thing actually happened. So it looks like, as a governor or a minister, what you do is you do not care. You just want to take, and give out to whoever you want to give out or sell at your convenience. Because in a particular state, a particular governor did the same. It was a court order that actually stopped him from grabbing land from a university.
And he didn't send. He disregarded the court order.
He didn't care. And shortly after that, because people had already built their houses, families were there and all that. Shortly after the court order, there was an influx of terrorism.
Yes.
People would come in, terrorists would come in, kidnap people from their houses, kill some,
So creating an atmosphere of fear and chaos.
Exactly.
So it's a playbook.
Exactly. It's the idea for them
It's a playbook.
I'm telling you, because I know someone who actually, built a house, a very big house in that particular area until today. And I'm talking about how many years after, 2-3 years after, they've not gone back to their house. Because some of their neighbors were killed. Some were kidnapped.
Lagos has a lot to answer for.
Yes, so
I think one of the questions I always have with Lagos is you have monitoring and enforcement teams. Yes, people will always try their best to do things under the cover but you find out that estates come up in 6 months. Where were you before the estate finished, before people moved in? It doesn't justify the fact that people are breaking the law. But there are several places along the chain of this situation that need to be checked, where the state can do better. But the state should not be seen to be flouting a court order. I don't see, when I see Lagos flouting court order, that means to me, why should I then obey Lagos? If Lagos tells me they want me as a city, as a resident to do this, when you yourself are flouting a court order,
it is a problem if you flout.
If I flout Lagos's directive,
it doesn't.
Government should be seen to be doing the right thing and then do the right thing.
No, that's something we cannot do. I'm sorry, we cannot do in this country. Be seen to be doing the right thing and actually doing the right thing. The government doesn't. There's always the gray areas, and there will always be that grabbing. There will always be that throwdown of power. Abuse because you feel it's within your purview or it's within the seat that you're sitting on. So there will always be that. My own is that accountability. If we don't begin to demand and take accountability, those people, the people of Oworonshoki are not playing. From the way the guy was sounding, he said government they should
even the last guy that was tackling the police. That's another point we need to make. The police officers, they were down. There's a whole wagon of them we saw. You see a journalist doing their job, and I saw that they stayed to one side to ensure free flow. There was free flow. Yes, one or two people would stop and look and see what's going on. People want to talk because this thing is paining them. But there was free flow. Where are you coming to say we have to get off? And then you're fighting, you're arguing. You don't come alone. You come with, did you not see like 2 or 3 rifle-carrying police officers, or I don't know if they were Mopole, coming up with her behind, walking. So that's why I said, Israel, let's calm the situation down. We'll come back to you if we need to. But we're doing our jobs. You cannot be happy about the fact that there's a lack of transparency in how you govern. But you cannot, in any which way, stop journalists in Nigeria from covering the stories that matter to the people. And midnight demolitions and people having to leave their homes. Even if they're breaking the law, there are ways in which you are empathetic as a government. There are ways in which you do things. What we don't do is, as Justin said, our governments don't care. They don't care. And that not caring, what does it say? It will come back to bite the proverbial donkey, whatever, and the proverbial whatever. And at the end of the day, it's not just government that will feel it. It is all of us.
That's why when, like I said on Friday, I said, Okoyemi said something of EIE. If you like, sit back and say, Nigeria doesn't concern me. Ultimately, you are in it, so it's going to concern you. On that note, we'll take a short break. When we return, we'll be on the home stretch of Jasiri for today, Monday. Stay with us.
And before we get to our final story, we can confirm from our reports on the scene at Oworonshoki that they have been chased away by the police. The police say they cannot stand there to report on what is happening. And what is happening? Demolitions occurred overnight on Saturday. Around maybe 70-ish homes were demolished and people have been made homeless. The Lagos state government says it's because of illegal buildings and structures, and compensation has been given to some. Compensation around 300,000, 500,000. I think they did mention 5 million for one home owner. But what is that in the face of what is going on? We'll continue to give you updates from what is going on in Oworonshoki. But there's one final story we want to touch on.
Well, so over the weekend, former presidential candidate Peter Obi delivered a thought-provoking message at an event in Onitsha. And in his post online, he talked about ethical leadership, integrity, and the dignity of labor, urging young people to rediscover hard work and innovation. But somewhere in the post, something Obi said has sparked controversy. So here's the post.
Our youths need redirection. I arrived in the United Kingdom on Friday morning to attend a scheduled 2-day meeting, but I had to cut it short by a day to attend a youth event in Onitsha today as guest speaker. I'm going to go past all of that. But he basically said that he needed to address a vice that has eroded our values, the greed for material possessions. He talks about where the conference was held. It was themed Money Beyond Wealth. I reminded our young people that while money is important, it is only a fragment of true wealth, which rests on integrity, character, and purpose. Real wealth uplifts both the individual and society, promotes education, reduces poverty, and creates opportunities for others to live dignified lives. I told the youth that some of our so-called Yahoo boys, this is where the controversy comes in, are geniuses who need redirection, not condemnation. Their creativity and courage, if properly guided, can drive innovation and national development. Our challenge is to channel their energy from deception to productive enterprise. I also stressed that the reckless pursuit of money destroys both character and community. Leadership must lead by example. For a nation that rewards dishonesty cannot build integrity. I urged our youth to rediscover the dignity of labor and embrace hard work and innovation. Nations are built not by miracles, but by men and women who think and work. Finally, I reminded everyone that no religion or tribe buys bread cheaper than the other. Nigeria is blessed with abundant resources. What we lack is the will to do what is right. Once we embrace justice, fairness, and merit, our nation's greatness will unnaturally unfold. And then he thanks the organizers. Please, let's get back to the previous one. So where the controversy is coming from is that the Labour Party presidential candidates in the 2023 election said that our Yahoo boys are misguided. They need redirection and not condemnation. Their creativity and courage. Please, what are they courageously doing? What are they creatively doing? And he said, if not properly guided, can drive innovation and national development. It is our challenge to channel their energy from deception to productive enterprise.
Okay.
Because if I talk now.
Let's take reactions, guys, please. Please. Let's take reactions first, as many as we can. This is apt. A lot of Yahoo boys can make good entrepreneurs and marketers equipped with the right skill set to closing deals. The mess we find ourselves in is making everyone seem evil. Yahoo boys are not geniuses. The character and capacity required for nation building have no place in them. Fraud is not brilliance. It should be condemned completely. It will be a Herculean task to redirect the mind of a Yahoo boy who is in his golden period as a scammer. A stubborn kind of determination runs their minds and consistent drive to keep going because they believe the inflow will never stop and it's safer than working for somebody. Wealth achieved with little or no stress is almost impossible to desist from. Is there a way around it? Yes. Okay. You're very eligible to speak on this topic. Thank you for the advice you shared. Honesty and integrity truly need to be restored in Nigeria. Every day I wake up, I just pray that the good people of Nigeria will allow this man to lead us to the promised land. We don't have to suffer now. We all know he's the best candidate. Why can't we just allow him work? Okay. Imagine we're all able to round up all of our Yahoo boys. Yes, there are ours, whether we like it or not. Round them up, house them in one huge institute somewhere in Kebbi State, where they'll be given proper and adequate cybersecurity training. Then we can mandate them to create very smart innovations that will drive public services and the development of tech in that region of the country.
Let's wrap it up there because of time. Do you know what this reminds me of? How we arrived at amnesty for terrorists. Or wait, we started with amnesty for militants. Then we now have amnesty and rehabilitation for terrorists. And now we want redirection, setting up centers, and whatever it is for Yahoo boys. Which Yahoo boy has written code? They hack and they lie.
Yeah, well.
So when he, I really want to understand the courage he's talking about. In a way, I get him.
Yes.
But I don't think this sort of flowery language, this sort of rubbing the issue on the back is the answer. Misdirection also means, are you going to repay the people, redirection and challenge the energy? Are you going to do restitution? And let's not forget that their victims are not only foreigners. Their victims also include Nigerians.
Yes.
They include mothers and fathers, governments. They include grandmothers and grandparents.
I get it, but I wanted to, that's the clause that Tolu put in when she said, I get what he's trying to say. That's what I want to hold on to. I understand, I want to understand. I won't say I understand. Oh, I want to understand what he's saying, you understand? But I think I understand what he says. Truly, if those boys, because of the determination, the doggedness, the tunnel visionness of their Yahoo scheme.
Is greed, Captain. Any other name you call it, it all comes down to greed.
You see the dedication that they give that. Because like someone said in one of the reactions, it's hard to desist from money that you're sweating.
From easy money.
Yeah, from easy money, so to say. I get it. But imagine if you're putting the young people in that, in giving them an opportunity, not for doing Yahoo now, but to be productive to do something. I think that's where it was going.
And then getting paid how much compared to how much they would
that's
make
the thing.
from,
but you see, because there's a complete lack of trust in government. So they're not even considering that. Don't even near them with that kind of proposition. They will stab you.
I know. I think this is, what's the word you like to, luluxing. It's luluxing a problem. There's a clear and present danger in front of us. This is luluxing a problem. And we don't need language that makes it seem like they're creative, they're geniuses, and courage.
In all fairness,
is a crime. And it has victims. It is not a victimless crime. You people, don't annoy me this Monday morning. Don't annoy me this Monday morning.
There are different types of Yahoos. Let's decide which one.
Bye-bye. Because See, Captain, I'll jump my
No,
bed. I'll jump across the system. Don't annoy me.
No, I'm serious. There are different types. There's emotional Yahoo.
No, none of it is victimless. People are losing their homes.
know.
They're losing their livelihood. What are we talking about?
People are profiting. People
You're not
are
calling
losing
them.
in capitalism.
We've told you to go. You're not calling them geniuses. Where is the genius in what you're doing? Where is the genius in greed?
I understand where he's coming from, because in some clients
He misused the words. Where is creativity and courage coming from?
He misused courage.
What courage?